think that is, oh, we got some people coming on now. Perfect. Great. Welcome everyone. Happy Wednesday. Hope you are having a lovely lunch hour. If this is when you are taking lunch. We are very, very excited for one of our powerhouse webinars this month. We are so thrilled to have the wonderful, very smart Jane Stoller with us today. Thanks for joining us, Jane.
Thanks for having me. I don't know if I'm that smart, but I'm organized.
You definitely are. Otherwise, you would not be here. We are recording this for anyone that is joining us late or for any of our members that would like access to this after. You are free to jump on camera, stay off camera, whatever feels great for you. We will have some Q&A at the end. If you'd like to ask Jane a question directly, feel free to use the chat function on the side at the very bottom of your screen. If you'd like to just introduce yourself, maybe share your LinkedIn profile. We're a small group today, so you can share your LinkedIn profile and we can all be connected. So once again, welcome everyone. My name is Dani Kagan. I'm one of the co-founders of City Moguls. I am here with Victoria Marshman, my better half, who's here on my screen. We are so thrilled to have you all today for this powerhouse webinar. City Moguls, for those of you who don't know, is a platform that connects, educates, and celebrates all types of entrepreneurs at every stage of their journey to really inspire great leaders. So we are thrilled to have each and every one of you here with us today. Very exciting, just very quickly, just a quick announcement. We just launched our membership program today. I'll let Victoria speak to that just before she introduces Jane. But yeah, take a look at citymoguls.com/membership if you are interested in joining all of these webinars for free. So I will pass it off to Victoria. Again, don't be shy to use the chat function if you want to ask or comment on anything at all.
Yeah, everyone. So we just launched our membership program. Very exciting. Just to let you know what's included, we do 2 powerhouse webinars every month. So as a member, you'll be able to participate in those. We do a networking happy hour every month. So you can continue to connect and expand your network. And also included is Mogul Cruise, our brand new mastermind style program where we curate groups of entrepreneurs to connect, grow, and develop their businesses together. So you get to participate in 2 of those every year, which is great. There's a lot of other more perks, but I recommend going to our website, citymoguls.com/membership to check it all out. We're offering a special founding members rate of $249 for the first 20 people to sign up. There's a handful of those membership rates left, so head to citymoguls.com to take advantage of that rate. Enough about us. We want to learn everything we possibly can from Jane, so I'm just going to introduce you, read your bio super quick so people know a little more about who you are, and then you can take over, Jane.
Perfect.
So meet the amazing Jane Stoller. She is a Swiss-Canadian life-biz organizer, speaker, author, and university instructor whose passion is in decluttering spaces and organizing business processes. Jane wrote her first book, Organizing for Your Lifestyle, in 2016 to help friends get more organized. It ultimately gained international attention, and this allowed Jane to turn her passion into a profitable business, Organized Jane. Stoller travels all around the world working with clients ranging from individuals looking to revamp one space to large corporations needing a complete business overhaul. Ooh, we are so excited. It's off to you, Jane.
Okay, perfect. I do have a PowerPoint, so I'm going to share my screen and just make sure every host attendees, host disabled. If you can just get the screen sharing, that would be, okay, I got it. Perfect. Can everybody see the PowerPoint?
That's great.
Okay, perfect. I'm just gonna make it in full mode, so it's only that. And then I will jump right in because I'm gonna try and keep this to the hour and then with some questions. And there is, if you're interested, there's a homework sheet. And then I'm going to, if anybody's interested in it, I can send it to you, or I'll send it to Danielle and Dani and Victoria, and they can send it out to everybody. But it's a homework sheet based on if you're more interested in learning about what I'm talking about today. So I want to talk today about gaining control of your workday, because I think organizing should be holistic. It should be from your home to your business. And you should have your whole entire life organized. I don't say just one area of your home. So I am going to just do a quick introduction because I started this business 10 years ago. Oh my gosh. I need 10 seconds. My dog is stuck on the top of the stairs. Can you hear him crying?
No problem.
1 second.
Oh,
Brother.
Oh God.
This is the beauty of COVID, everyone. Of working
He just learned stairs and now he goes up and then he goes down and yeah. So.
Oh. He really just wants to hear your presentation. That's probably
exactly.
it.
Like City Moguls is here. I want to meet everybody. So, but the one reason I put the slide up there is because I have a hard time still calling myself a life-biz organizer, and I failed this business 10 years ago because I was really scared. I'm Canadian. I went to school. I went to McGill. and then I got an MBA, and I thought that I had to become a VP or a CEO of a company to be successful in society. So I still struggle with it every single day, and I'm getting over that. But the reason I'm successful now in my business is because I have groups like City Moguls, like mentorships that like 10 years ago, we did not have this. I don't know if City Moguls was here 10 years ago. No. So I didn't have a team of support, and especially as an entrepreneur, I think we really need that. So I took a traditional route. I did climb the corporate ladder. I managed one of the largest concrete plants in Vancouver. And then in Edmonton, one of the largest pipe plants in Canada. And it was really good at managing businesses because I organized them. And it was still my passion. Since I was 6 years old, I was organizing things. So as my first book, I put this quote on the back saying, a woman with organizing skills can run a construction company without ever picking up a hammer and a nail. I know it's important to know the product you're selling or you have in your toolbox, but organizing, I believe, is the key to anything. So this is just, the PowerPoint will be available, but I just like to give a little bit of introduction because I do have a weird job or a weird career. But, then I was recruited and I worked in a consulting role alongside McKinsey and Deloitte consultants, where I learned to optimize processes even more. And that's all about organizing too. And then I started writing my first book. But then I realized I was only helping large corporations. And that's where my struggle is, because I was traveling so much, could barely keep up with my corporate life. And a lot of people were asking me for help. And I really wanted to help these entrepreneurs that I actually cared about. So I just had this feeling like I was too stressed. I wanted to really go after my passion. And luckily I had lots of support then. I hired coaches, and I really started JPS and Associates Consulting, which is now Organized Jane. And I wrote Decluttering for Dummies in November it came out, and also was the technical editor for Starting and Running a Small Business for Canadians that came out in January. So these books are just all about organizing processes, how you organize, even Starting and Running a Small Business for Canadians is really, the chapters are organized so it flows. And my process is all of my mastermind, or my 6-step accelerator, is all about that's organizing. So that's just a bit of my background, and I'm proud to say I'm a life-biz organizer now because I can work with people that I care about. I can make a difference, and the entrepreneurs that I'm helping are so grateful because now they can scale their businesses. I say you cannot scale a business if you don't have the back end of your business organized. You're going to burn out. And we're so focused on Facebook ads and marketing, but we often forget about the importance of the backbone of your business. Without that, you are not going to succeed, or you will burn out. So I'm just really passionate about sharing my story to anybody who's listening, because I think it's very important to understand where I'm coming from. But I do have the education to do this, and I'm doing this now because I really care about making a difference in entrepreneurs' lives and everyone who's here today. So when I talk about organizing, I have a strategy. I need to understand what makes you revenue, or what is important to you in your life. And that's the number one part when I work with you, because I want to build your time to make sure that we can adapt your activities to that, to your company's revenue, whether it's you want to spend more time with your kids, whatever it is, we focus on the strategy. The second part of when I work with clients is I look at the processes to help you increase the time you can spend on that, and then leverage them from your industry. A lot of people are in different industries, and I'm not industry specific. I work with lots of different companies and businesses, and I think all companies have a very similar back end. They can just be different, different scales of them. And the third part of what I always say, organizing, is standard automating and outsourcing. So building those processes efficiently so you can create a greater impact. And I say even start with the closet, and all of this actually relates to your closet too for the women there. You know, understanding 80% of your clothes should make you feel good and you should wear them. Create a process in your closet to make you, so all of these can be put to your home and your business. And that's my kind of 3-step strategy in my organizing process and what I'm going to talk about today. So I say having an organized process is not magic. For growing your business is all about organizing, and everybody can do this. And I'm going to show you how in one of my most important steps, which is all about time management. And the first step in my 6-step program is really related to your tasks and your time management. Just making sure everybody can hear me okay still.
Awesome.
Okay, perfect. So organizing is the only reason I'm successful. I attribute everything I've done to being organized. And of course, I love doing it, and I love helping others, but I run my life and my business from this mindset. And holistically, I run my life like a business too, but it should be organized. And I'm so passionate about this. That's why I know these tactics will change your life and your business. And it's not rocket science, but we often just are so overwhelmed these days we forget it's important. So I always say an unorganized business equals total random sales, but an organized business, you can target your clients, you can target your sales, and you can get that feeling of overwhelm gone. And if any entrepreneurs on this call, I'm sure there's a few, I work with a lot of people that say, I just want to be able to take a vacation. I just want to be able to let go or hire people, and like all that has to do with being organized and creating processes, systems, and getting that organized. So I always say this is a 6-step process to your life and your business, but I call it the revenue machine. The first step in anything you do, your organizing goal should be your time. You need to plan around your revenue generating activities. Then I look at your operationals, how you're getting your product or your service to your customer. The same in your home. And if you're in your kitchen, what are you, frequency of use? How are you operating in your kitchen that makes the most sense? So this all relates to life and business. The third, we look at accounting, home and business, of course, but how are you looking at your finances weekly? As a small business owner, any business owner, I know you need to know your numbers. And I'm not a math whiz, but I have a system that works and that it holds me accountable. And really, we need to get that organized. And there's so many great tools today to do that. The fourth is HR or staff. When can you actually building your machine? And then we talk about automating and outsourcing. When to hire, what to hire for. A lot of us hear about this word called outsourcing, but we don't know where to get them. We don't know what to outsource. We don't know how to outsource. So that's it. All comes when we talk in the first step of the program. We go down to kind of your time. We can already see what you're not good at, what takes up too much time, and what could be outsourced. Marketing is the fourth one. I believe in having some kind of, I hope, marketing plan or sales plan. Today, there's so many ways that you can do things automated, from lead magnets to your content creation should be organized. And it doesn't have to be complicated. I'm not a tech wizard, but I have a simple way to run, from webinars to lead magnets to automated lead campaigns. And the content planning, I still write mine in a book with the content planner. If anybody knows that, Kat Gaskin from Canada. The content planner is a physical book where I do my content planning in. So things like that don't have to be complicated. And the last step, I say, bring it all together and streamline your business. So I am going to share these PowerPoints too, and then I think they can be distributed, right, Danny? Okay, perfect, just in case anybody wants to take more notes or anything. So I always say we first need to look at the outcome. What do you really want to achieve in your business? Is it more sales? Is it more time with your kids? What's the outcome that you're coming? Why are you here in this webinar today? What do you want to achieve? Is there something in the back of your head saying, I want to do this more. I want to be able to, start the side business. Whatever it is, think of the outcome, put a process in place, remove complexity, and then you have a simply organized process. From working in corporate for 10 years, I know that processes are too complex and even big companies can simplify. So we always have to keep that in mind. So that create an effective process, start with that outcome, create the steps required to fulfill it, write them down so everybody knows them if you're away on vacation, and subtract anything that is not necessary to achieving that. I like lean, simple, and organized results. So the first step I want to talk today about is time. So we said we're going to talk a little bit about time management, and I really want to focus on that. So usually before a webinar too, I didn't know who would be attending last minute. I send out this 5-minute quiz, which I'm really happy to send anybody afterwards if they're interested to. And I'm going to talk about this quiz, but I know it so well that I already know what most of you would have said probably, but I'm going to talk about some key points. And then if you're interested, I can walk you through that as well. Then I'm going to talk about some basic rules of time management that I didn't make up, they're rules that are just there. I'm going to talk about some changes in your workplace that'll give you a big boost in productivity, and some hidden time wasters. So knowing your tasks, and that's where I'll leave you with some homework. So is everybody okay with this schedule for the next 10 to 20 minutes? Nobody's sleeping yet?
This is awesome. Can't wait.
Yeah, I don't want anyone to fall asleep. If you do, it's recorded, I guess. It's early here. I'm 9 a.m. in Whistler, but it's noon here, so it's okay. So when I give out this test that this before, and usually before you start my courses or before I work with you, I can already see it's like if you're interested, I can send it to you, but I can already understand some of your habits. And habits are a big thing that we want to kind of break in terms of working together and make sure that that we get good habits in place. So I always say, are you constantly at war with your deadlines? That's a really big trigger. If you're always, pushing to the limit, some people work really good under pressure. Well, then you should know that and plan to work on that project right before it's due, right? If you know that type of personality, but you've got to really think about deadlines. Do you procrastinate? Who procrastinates? I do too. We all do it. But I want to eliminate that procrastination with some good planning. And I have some quick tips to help you eliminate procrastination. And do you underestimate the amount of time it'll take to complete something? This is a big one. When we get a project, do you automatically put it in your calendar? Those things are really important for when you're having a big project. And especially now, a lot of us are changing our businesses or pivoting, or probably have a new project or a new something added to our business. You can't just say, I'm going to implement this tomorrow. What are the steps to get there, and put it in your calendar? And perhaps you manage the way your time is a problem. Learning the skill, like I always say, learning time management and prioritizing and how to plan effectively will help you organize your entire life. So I always say take this test, you can do it with me another time. But I wanted to show you some of the big things that I always come out from this test, and I think that it's probably going to be the same in this group. So I see my mind wandering from work. I'll take a break to refocus. How many people take a break when their mind is wandering? None of us, I know. We're just like, okay, we work through it. We're going to it actually takes more time when you don't do this. So I always say, there's actually a proven fact that after 49 minutes, so after 49 minutes in this webinar, everybody's going to clock out, I think. But after 49 minutes, it says you need to take a break. So that break and refocus is really important. And when I do this quiz, everyone says no to this question. So if anything from today, if your mind's wandering, go outside, take a break. In corporate, we've been taught not to do this. We've been taught to work 8 to 5 and only take lunch breaks, and not even lunch breaks. So I think society has really messed us up with this one. I break big projects down into smaller steps. So I mentioned this before, but this is huge. So who in this group is starting a new business or a new, and maybe a hands up, or a new, I know City Moguls is, yes. Anybody want to share what it is? What their new project or new business is?
I have a big event coming up in November.
Oh, I love it. Mm-hmm. Okay, November is far away, but you probably need to start planning it now. So are you breaking it down into little steps, or how are you doing this?
Yeah, I'm that's something I do regularly, but yeah, looking for sponsors now for different workshops. It's a 4-day, 2 hour.
Okay, I love this. So yeah, you probably want to say, okay, I need to get sponsorship emails out now. I need to get the sponsors by, you probably have some kind of Gantt chart or Excel sheet or whatever you're using, or project management tool. But I love that. And events can really sneak up on you in terms of, planning them and getting a bit organized. So I like that. Anybody else have a new project that they're working on? I see.
I just launched oh, my video's not on. Hi, I just launched a business, a children's yoga business.
I love it.
So I did sort of like a pre-launch and it just started like a week ago. But yeah, it's so new. I'm like so excited for this webinar because I just feel like all the tasks, they just feel messy. Like I don't even know what to start on to build it. Like I'm really excited to be here. I'll just say that for sure.
Well, at the end, I think the task audit, you should really do it for your business to understand where, because especially as a new business, we think we need to do so many things, but what actually brings you the revenue, right? And the people.
Right.
And often it's the things that we're not doing that we're supposed to be doing. So that's where it's the most important. But I love that, a new business. And you probably it probably took a long time to launch that more than you thought, right? So we had to really,
it did, yes.
Yeah. So I always say these big projects, break it down and really spend more time on the planning stage than you think you need. Like double the time spent planning will save you probably hours in the long run. Benjamin Franklin always said, an hour, for every minute spent planning, an hour is earned. So he was a time management guru. So this is a big one too. I combine tasks that are similar and time blocking. So this is really important. I'm a big time blocker. I sell these cubes on Organize Jane, but you can use your phone. So I only check my emails twice a day usually, and people are notified of this, but I change it during the day. Sometimes it'll be at 8 and 5, whatever it is. But when I'm doing it, I turn on my time cube. It's set for an hour. It's blinking red. You might not be able to see it. And it counts down, and I put it in front of my computer, and I only do emails. I don't jump on webinars. I don't check my Instagram. I don't go to the bathroom. I mean, I might have to really, but I really try to just focus only for that task, doing that. Phone call, same thing. Content planning your event. Maybe it's sponsors. You only want to work on only the sponsorship for 1 hour. You'll get so much more done. Time batching is huge. And especially for content creators, if you do videos, I always do videos, like I usually film 8 in one day. I batch them like in 2 hours, you just change outfits, make the scripts in one day. All of those things will save so much time down the road. So time cubes, I'll talk about these again. And I create schedules for all tasks that need to be complete. So that's also really important, the schedules, putting it in your calendar. I don't know what types of calendars you're using, but I'm sure everybody's using either a paper or a computer calendar. So this is another one. Usually people say they have no qualms about telling others, I don't have time to do something for them. All of us, I see a lot of women on this call too. I don't know if there is any men, but I find women especially always say no to this one. They always say, no, we always, we don't say we're busy. So I think setting the expectations, the second point, I let others know ahead of time when I have a really busy day. It's important to let your family, your friends, your kids, even if they still don't listen to you. We're working from home now, but your colleagues, I always say open door policies are great, but if you actually need to get work done, say, you know what? Put a note on your door. Use a time, whatever it is, protect your time and say, I need these 2 hours, and set those expectations with your customers, your clients, whoever it may be. Otherwise, you'll never get real work done. And I find in corporate, this is why it's so inefficient. I make a list of tasks that need to be completed throughout the day. So this is a big one. I have 4 priorities that I work on every single day, and I have them written in my agenda. I can't read it, but my 4 priorities and all my tasks that I do every day relate to these priorities. So my first one is getting clients. My second one is improving offers. My third one is gathering feedback. And my fourth one is maximizing my profitability. So those are my 4 priorities. If I write down a task for the day that doesn't really fit those, why am I doing it? I look at these every day. I only have 4, not 20. But once I was able to get laser focused on these 4 priorities, my life changed and the way I did my business changed. So 4 priority areas. We're going to talk about these in about 10 more minutes too, and I'm gonna actually have you write yours down too. So we will get to that one. So a digital or paper. This is a big one where I find a lot of people are wasting time. When we look for paper, on the test, I always put a big OMG on this because everyone's like, when I have to locate paperwork or digital files, I say, that I worked on, I know exactly where to look. A lot of people say no. So this is very important, because if you're looking for things, that's a huge time waster, and you're not just 10 minutes looking for something, but the energy it took you to get off your project and back to it. So it's probably at least 30 minutes you've wasted looking for something. So again, I want you to really think about the way you've got your files organized, the way your digital system is organized, and no more wasting time on silly things like this. I say from the moment you wake up, your closet, you shouldn't waste any time, to your kitchen, to your office. It should be laser focused. So that was just some basic things. I'm moving really quickly through this because there's so much I wanted to cover, but those are some things I hope you can get out of. That's mostly what the quizzes do, and I'm happy to go through it with you again if you'd like. But I say these are simple rules of time management now. Have a plan for what you want to accomplish and have some goals set for that day. So again, I plan my daily tasks and weekly tasks based on my priorities, which we're going to talk about. Again, we talked about breaking things into reasonable units. Looking at a big task can feel totally overwhelming, especially organizing an event. Oh my gosh, like I just feel for you. And starting in Sydney, starting a new business, and City Moguls, I know you're also changing your like adding new elements to your business. So break those down so you can have a little bit more bite-sized pieces. You'll feel better and you'll actually do them versus procrastinating it. And prioritizing and refuse inessential tasks. So we're going to get to tasks because I'm so focused on this, because we need to understand what really we need to be doing and say no to other people. And especially, I know starting a new business too, we're very, Sydney, maybe you'll get this, you feel like you have to do all the posts, all the blogs, talk to everybody, be on all these podcasts, do everything. But what really is bringing you the revenue? And as soon as you start getting customers and revenue, maybe you can do more of maybe the non-essential things or whatnot, or you could give back. But first, when you're starting, you really need to be laser focused on those getting clients in the door. Without clients, you don't have a business. I always say delegate if possible. I put together a great team. I've had this business now for over 10 years on the side and 3 years full time. But I let them know I know what they're good at based on their task audit. I don't get burned out doing things that I don't like anymore and that I'm not good at. I don't have the creative energy for things like, actually, a lot of people think I'm not good at graphic design. I'm actually not detail oriented or a good copy editor. So I have someone on my team that does that. Then I can focus on getting more clients, improving my offer. So delegate the things that you're not good at, and the task audit, which I'm going to give you at the end, will help you get through that. As an entrepreneur, you also have to plan time for meals, exercising, and socializing, and we often don't do this. And there was a study done, a Harvard Business Review, on CEOs' time, and they followed 50 CEOs for 6 months, and every 15 minutes documented their assistants documented their time, and they even put in time for meals and exercising. So if CEOs of big companies can exercise and take an hour lunch break, so can we. And that is what I really like. We need to really get our heads wrapped around that too. Plan for socializing. If you plan a project properly, you will have time to have those drinks with your friends or have a date night, whatever it is. And instead of procrastinating and then you waste more time where you could have been having a little bit of fun. I always say sometimes we do have to work harder, stay up late, do whatever, but we can't do that forever. So understand when you need the relaxation. This is a big one, this 10-minute rule. We all have things we don't like to do in our business, in our life. We put off something. Just last night I was working on something. I was like, oh, I just don't want to do it. But I said, okay, I'm going to do the 10-minute rule. I actually set my time cube for 15 minutes, but I just started working on it and I finished it in an hour, but I just started working on it. So just start 10 minutes and you'll find you'll get in the groove and you'll actually start doing it. And I say each day you have to plan for tomorrow. So at the end of your day, whether it's ended at 5 or midnight, whenever it is, write down your task you're going to do that next day. I hope there's only about 7 or 10 on there and they should relate to your priorities. So I'm going quickly, but I will send this to you. I just want to flip ahead. It's quick. I just want to see something. I want to go to the priorities. Perfect. I'm going to get to our priorities in a second. The last point that I want to talk about before I give everybody some little bit of work on this is your space and your area. So we've all changed now to working at home. Perhaps some of us already did. But I also want to talk just about space because I'm a decluttering expert. And I'm looking here at Danny. I think she's got a very nicely decluttered space behind her. So I love that. But, oops, I'm going here.
Not my desk, not my desk.
Oh, no.
This is a facade.
Well, the facade looks nice. But really think about your work area and how it can also boost your productivity. I mentioned we don't want to waste time looking for things. I see Victoria has that nice calendar behind her too. I think that's probably, yes, that might help give you that nice overview quickly, right? But determine what you don't use. I know everybody has some cables in their drawers or files on their computer or somewhere that they're not using. Get rid of them. Sydney, you might have some from an old business that you're keeping just in case. But now you want to just focus on your yoga business or whatever it might be, right? So declutter daily at the end of your day when you're writing your tasks, clean your workspace, store your files. I am actually going to give you a chapter in my book too from this webinar all about office organizing, and it gives you some tips on how to store files, sort and donate things. A lot of kids in schools, you know, in Canada too, we know some schools are underfunded. Why not donate supplies you don't use to them, right? We don't need 500 pens or, you know, 3 staplers, things like that. And rearrange what doesn't work, especially if you're in a new space. Be as efficient as possible with that. And don't, when you get into a new space, then you declutter, just like your closet. If you go through a complete declutter, don't immediately buy new things because it feels empty. Enjoy that space and see what you really need. So again, I'm going to give everybody, I will send it to Danny, the chapter in decluttering your office, because I think this is super important. It talks about files. Stationery is a big one because we actually, most of us use our computers 95% of the time. Keeping up with your calendar, I have some calendar management tips in there. And also if you're in a shared workspace, some tips for that, which right now we're still not in shared workspaces, but maybe soon. So I want to talk quickly about tasks. And this is where I'm going to give a bit of homework and things as well, because like I said, I plan my tasks every day for the day. I also have weekly tasks. My weekly tasks include things like every Friday I have my finance meeting with myself or my numbers meeting. And I also schedule my goals meeting, so I make sure that my goals are aligned, but I never miss those meetings. Monthly, I actually have a monthly in there for reviewing my my quarterly business plan. I also monthly, 1 hour I spend organizing my photos for the month. Who does this? Probably nobody here yet. But as creatives now, we need content, and if we don't organize our photos monthly, we're never going to get them organized. So things like that. I plan all of these tasks, and I'm going to show you how. I use some tools and software to help me, and those should be based on what makes sense for you. They don't have to be complicated, and a lot of stuff I still do on Excel, my budgeting and things. So it's really what makes sense. And a task audit. So how do you find out what your tasks are is the big thing. So again, my focus areas are these 4 things. I do this every single day. I look at this in the morning and say, these are the things I need to work. If my tasks, if there's something on here that is, if I'm writing an article for some newspaper that does not do any of these, why am I doing it? Your 4 things. For your yoga studio, Sydney, I'm thinking you need to be getting people in the door too. That should be your number 1 goal.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. So I just want everyone here to take, I'm going to put my timer on my phone just for 2 minutes here because we're kind of low on time, but until 9:38, I want everyone to write down their 4 biggest priorities. And these could change, but anybody want to share some of their 4? No, don't have to.
I can start.
Yes, sure.
I mean, for City Moguls, one of our biggest priorities is constantly providing value for our community. So every single day, I want to do something that I know is going to help our community. That could be a webinar like this, putting plans in to do that, or a blog, or something that's giving value back.
Okay, I love it. So everything you do should be that value generator. Okay, love it. Anybody want to share one of theirs?
I can share.
Sure.
I, of course, number one, like you said, definitely getting clients. I also think big for me right now, I think these will change, but I think big for me right now is a big, like, organizing my business. I think that needs to be a daily focus. I also put creating content, like meaningful content, because my business, of course, right now is going to be like online children's yoga. And I want to create a website with like amazing content for kids. So I think building content is going to be a big focus each day.
So relatable content, right?
Yes.
Yes, that's a big thing, because sometimes we're like, oh, I just got to create content, but really, if it's not relating or profitable content, like not bringing.
Right. That's a good point. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it should be something I say profitable content that brings your clients to you.
So that's kind of like like when you say, can I just ask a question? For
Yes.
your number 4, maximizing profitability, I guess that's quite a big umbrella, because that can mean kind of many different areas of your business, right?
Yeah, I can, and it is a big umbrella. So what I look at that, like, let's say I have a task of, reworking, I'm adding in something in my course. Is it going to bring me more revenue? Can I charge more for it? Is it really that value to my clients? Things like that.
Right. And
for you too, it could be like, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to make this yoga, maybe even a cheaper yoga studio will maximize profitability, things like that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is kind of a big umbrella. You're right. So I want to open. Oh, go ahead.
I think Paula had her hand up. Did you, Paula? Oh, you're on mute.
There we go.
Oh yeah, I think.
So my company is PS Media House, and we are a boutique marketing agency in Waterdown. So I can relate. Actually, a lot of what I'm working on right now is, getting the clients, doing the proposals, because that takes a lot of time. Following up then with those proposals, a lot of project management, and then of course marketing and publicity of the company. So I do get overwhelmed, but that I know those are the key ones that I have to focus on. So.
And that'll change as your business changes too. I used to have marketing and PR on mine, and now I don't anymore, because now I'm like, okay, now I'm focusing on a different, I have that in the backbone. I'm ready to, like, now I can really focus on just my clients and the offers, right? So it depends. I don't have that anymore, but it'll evolve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we're all still
doing get rid of that at some point.
or put it more as a task, or have someone work on it for you, right? So I find we're always overwhelmed because we think we have to do so much stuff, but what are your key things? And that's what I really want to, if you can leave with this webinar today, I'm going to talk a little bit about, I'm going to show you what my tasks are every day. Like every day, this is what I do for sure. I complete my sales tracking sheets every single day. So I see who's in my pipeline, whether that be, like I have one for products, books, and speaking events have gone down, but and for my courses. And I update my metrics every day. I monitor course cash flow on a daily basis. I iterate my profitable offer. So for the yoga course, you're talking about, every day you're talking about your yoga studio, right? Probably. Every day I'm talking about my course. Every day I'm sharing what my offer is. And then I'm talking to my niche, and I'm collecting feedback from my group. Usually on a daily basis, my tasks will include these, plus maybe a few others, but these are things that I'm doing every single day. So think about that too. I'm gonna help you develop this with the homework too, because it might seem like, oh, it's so organized, but it takes a bit to get this in the flow, and then it'll be like automatic. On a weekly basis, I try and, share my wins with the community, connect with more business people like we're doing today. My weekly finance meeting with myself is on Friday, where I monitor everything that I've done. I make sure they all linked into my accounting software. I plan for next week and make sure they relate to my 4 priorities. And I plan and schedule client attraction, social stuff, all of that. So I do this on a weekly basis. And then monthly, of course, I love sharing progress with my family, coaches, I have a business coach, you're on the community, things like that. You want to evaluate if you had to have a boss, or you're in corporate, usually monthly, you have monthly meetings with them, right? You show your progress, things like that. Why I still continue this in my entrepreneurial life. I monitor my expenses again and do Profit First, which is a book I read which changed the way I did my business. And I really make sure Profit First, if anybody's ever read that book. I do my accounting based on that. So it really, I do it on a monthly basis. I want to monitor it. I look at my task audit every single month too, to make sure it still makes sense, because things change in our business. And the book Traction has really helped me with that. And I look at my revenue machine again. What am I doing well? What could be improved? And I do this on a monthly. I have this in my calendar. I call it like a monthly, it's my monthly business planning meeting with myself. And then I share with my team when we have our call and things. For tools and software, I'm not that fancy. I use Google Drive for sharing documents, contents with my team, for my courses. I use Asana for managing big projects. This would be great too for events. I don't know if you're using anything for your event, but Asana is wonderful and pretty simple if you have lots of people. And I use Slack for team communication when we're planning events too. I also use, not on here, but like Active Campaign for emails, and ClickFunnels for my sales funnels, and pay funnels and Stripes. There is a lot more tools that I use, but they're more on the sales and marketing. So this is more just for the organization of things. And again, don't get overwhelmed. There's so many software out there, but only get what you need. A lot of people in my course will say, oh, I have Monday for this and Monday for .com for projects, but I've never used it. I have Trello, but I've never used it. So what do you actually need in your business? And often maybe you don't need any of these. So I want to talk about this task audit. I'm going to bring it up on the screen on my Google Drive, and then I'm also going to email it to you. And I encourage everyone, if they could spend an hour doing a task audit this week, that would be phenomenal, and it'll save you hours and it'll help you really get your focus priorities. So when you do your task, I'm just going to bring it up on my Google Drive so you can see what it is, because it's a very, very simple document. So, you know, I don't have very complicated things in my life, and I use Excel for a lot of things. So, and I share them with my team here. Let me show you. So this is a task audit. It's very simple. This is, it's an Excel document. Well, it's on the Google Drive Excel. And I've just made it. So I want everyone to, if they want to do this, put down everything they do in an entire day. Personal, business, you can mark it, personal or business. I have a drop down. And put down, all right, 1, 2, 3, or 4. So rate it. Do you love it? Are you good at it? 2, do you like it? Are you good at it? 3, you don't like it, but you're good at it. And 4, don't like it, not good at it. This has changed people's lives, I swear. And even making meals, you know, spending time with your kids, training a puppy if you have it. This is actually a really great tool if you have a husband or partner too, to help see how much time you're spending on tasks, and it makes things equal. So this task audit is wonderful for personal and for, this is actually, I think Audrey, one of my students, has updated this one on hers because she put Peloton in here, but really, this is key for, as a consultant, I need to understand this to then help you get your processes more organized. Because, for example, inventory, let's say you spend 60 minutes a week on this. It's, you know, you don't like it, you're not that good at it. You do it right now, but maybe a future employee can do it. Packing and shipping, this is actually one of, directly from my course. Packing and shipping, Audrey was doing this herself. She was spending 300 minutes a week on this. She had a clothing store, and it's going to be like the Lululemon for kids. She's massively busy, and she's doing, and she also works with a charity, Operation Smile. And she said, it's okay, this is allowed to be shared, don't worry. But this is just the start of it, because there's not enough minutes on here, as you can see, because there's 10,000 minutes in a week. But she was spending 300 minutes just going to Canada Post and shipping her products, right? So those are huge red flags already, I can see. Is it your zone of genius? Yes or no? These things are really important for me to kind of first understand your business and where you can start outsourcing and saving time. Let's see if I have another task audit that is not filled out here. Oh, this is one that I've already come in and put some red notes on here. I'll go back to the other one. So this is, I can send you the plain task audit template, because I really think that for all of us, it is very important that we get this laser focused. And I look at mine every single month and I say, am I still doing what's on here is important? You have to put everything. I put sleep on here. I put my nighttime routine. I put my morning routine. I put working out. I put content creation. I put videos. I put meetings. I put, you know, one-on-ones with my calls. I put groups, everything. So I can see exactly how long it takes me, software I'm using, and is it my zone of genius? You know, a lot of things, graphic design are not my zone of genius, things like that. And that's where that's the no's in here. I eventually outsource when I can, and things that are really 3s and 4s are target areas. So I want all of us to really get this task audit organized. And I also, going deeper into it, which you can do, is I task values to it. So how much value does it cost me to do it myself or to hire out, right? So I put a number on my time, right? So for sales calls, I put a big number on that. It's a high value for me. I'm saying it's $250 an hour. That's what I'm thinking it's worth, right? This is just value, not what you're paying somebody, but just in my own time, right? Sales calls are really important that I do that. Creating new products that I have are huge to me, right? Those are high value tickets. Low things, graphic design, because I'm not good at it, I can outsource it. Sending emails, I'm not good at it, I can have an admin assistant do that. Social media, content creation, I do this, but like, or scheduling and content creation, I do this, but it's not the bone of my business. All these things, video editing, things like this. This is the next step. I don't want to get too focused. The first step is really just writing down everything you do in a week, everything. And then assigning it time, who does it, and is it your zone of genius? So that's what I'm going to send everyone today to kind of look at and start doing. And from this, you'll already see, are those relating to my top 5 priorities? What in here And it's interesting because Danny and Victoria, you're both in the business. You'll see some of you guys have joint tasks, I'm sure. And some of you have individual tasks based on your probably zone of genius, right? And I find this is a super task to do if you have a business partner, to find out what you're good at and how you can already develop your organizational chart. Because if you want to take a vacation or go somewhere, you're going to need to make sure your tasks are given to somebody else. They have a process for them and things like that. So any questions on this? I know it's very simple.
I just want to say we actually in our Mogul Cruise program last week we did a task audit with the DEAD method. I don't know if you've heard of that. Delegate, eliminate, automate, do.
I have heard that, yes.
But I like this one because it assigns like if you really like doing something or not with a number. You should, it gives more and combines that personal and business evaluation.
Because if you're spending so much time making meals and you don't like it and you could be going on sales calls, could you outsource that? There's meal planning, there's things that deliver, right? Or could your husband do it? Or could you hire somebody? It's not out of this world, right? So I think as women, there's this article that I read the other day that is saying it's looked on as badly when we get help, but it shouldn't be, right? If you want to build a 7-figure business, you're going to need to have help. Right? We really need to get over that fact, and we're helping others. So yeah, I like that. And I did this, Victoria, because when I was in consulting, I had to understand what processes that this person shouldn't not be doing, right? And say, you're not good at this. Why are you doing this? Let's get it outsourced, right? Or let's give it to somebody else on your team. So just going back to this, I will send this out, but when you do it, this helps consultants, especially somebody else looking at your business, identify where you're going to need support. And if you need, and even in your personal life too, if you're spending so much time doing something, think about this. And then use this to help you decide when to start hiring things. And it can also help create those job outlines too for you, because you're going to say, these are the tasks this person's going to do. Because I say only hire when is necessary. You don't want to hire prematurely, because that can also slow things down. But I always say hire for admin tasks first, or things that you're not good at, which you'll automatically see this from your task audit. This, like Victoria mentioned, the love, it's so important, because things we don't like, but we're still good at, like what, maybe there's somebody else that likes it and is good at it, right? So we are also here to help other people build their businesses, and once we get to that point, so why not give away that control when we can? But what you love and you're great at is probably your zone of genius, I hope. So again, of course, we have to do things we don't like, but these are the things that I'm really, that's why I want you to give you some homework for this webinar and do that task audit, and you can share it with me. It'll be in a Google Drive, so you can share it back with me. And then I'm happy to jump on a call with you and talk about it to get you a bit more laser focused. And again, this changes the task audit. I'll bring it up again. It can change a lot with your business, but it's just something that you need to be constantly thinking about and working on. So that's kind of the hour today. I want to leave it for questions. And Sydney, you look exactly like one of my friends.
Really?
Also just started a business. It's quite funny.
That's so cool. This was so great. Thank you so much.
It was very quick, a lot of info, but I love some questions if anybody has any.
I think it's great, Jane, that it's such a friendly reminder that sometimes it's not so overwhelming to get your stuff organized. And I think you really laid it out well for everyone. I would love for you to actually just tell everyone a little bit more about your program that you're offering this summer, so people can understand better how they dive deeper into this stuff with you.
Yes, sure. So I'm going to just bring this slide up again, because I always say people think organizing is so complicated. And I was just on the call yesterday with somebody who's like, oh, I feel so overwhelmed and disorganized. And then she showed me all her files, and I'm like, you're super organized, but we have this feeling of overwhelm, right? We're always not good enough. We're not there yet. So really, we just have to break it down. And I say, starting with your task audit, that's the first step in my course. We talk a lot about that's how I can understand your business, how you could understand it better, how your husband can, how your employees can. So it's really important. And that second operational piece, how many of us have our business processes like documented, like the names of them, checklists of them? So if you're just starting out, oh, you do, okay. And sorry, what's your name? I forgot. I can't see it on there. The event. Elizabeth. Okay, now let's see it. Elizabeth. So you have all your processes done. I feel like you're very organized.
Oh, trying, but that's why I'm here, to get more organized, right?
I love it. So do you have other employees in your business, or is it just yourself?
Just part-time contractors.
Okay, perfect. Even more important, because when they have a process, do you have a checklist for them, or how do you?
Well, they tell me, right? Because I'm not very good at a lot of things. So I make up the list that I've been doing, and then they beef it up. And then
I love that.
If another person takes over, then they've got the guide.
Oh, this is exactly what you need. Everyone needs in their business, a guide or their way of their business, I say. So the operational way is all about the second week of our course. We go through, document every single process, your accounting process, name it. So your business partners call it the same thing. Your finance process, or your numbers, which also include what you're looking at metrics every week. If it's your HR process, if you have one, if it's your onboarding process for new clients, membership process, all of these have to be named, and a few simple checklists, right? And Elizabeth, I loved how you said you made one and then your contractor beefed it up and then you use that one, right? So often we might not know what's in the process, but we can get help. So I always say we need to have the way of our business. We should have a book. Of course, a business plan is important, but if you go away, I say, where's the book that says, these are all my processes and here's a checklist so you can run my business, right? That's essentially what everybody should have. And even big companies don't have this because they make it too complicated. So it's very important. And the third week is all about accounting. So I'm really big on this because I think a lot of us are not, if you're an accountant running a business, that's phenomenal, but a lot of us are not. We're here because we're doing our zone of genius. Does anybody struggle with keeping track of their accounting? Or yes, I see a few hands. Yes, and I think this is super. We make it more complicated than it is. And in week 3 in my course, I give you a few quick tools on what you should be doing every single week. And the first thing is digitizing your receipts. I'm really, really, really big on this. You should have some kind of, in Canada, I admire all entrepreneurs because we take so many risks. We do not get there's no guarantee for us. We do not get anything from the government, let's say, if our clients don't show up. So we have to take tax advantages. We have to. And if you don't have an organized system for your receipts, you're going to be losing out on money. So I will say, get an app on your phone for tracking those receipts. It will likely also be on your email. I use Neat, or Expensify is quite popular. Wave accounting, it also connects. And does anybody use QuickBooks here, or Sage? So you should be using one of those if you're in Canada for your accounting. And if you don't have it set up, I would do it right away, because they can you need to have some kind of software set up that links with your receipts. So every week you can know where you're at with your numbers. And then at the end of the year, your accountant can go in. Yep, you have a question, Danny? Oh, no, okay. So every week your accountant can go in or every year and do your taxes for you. So accounting should not be left. I don't even think we should hire bookkeepers in small businesses until you have a lot of products or sales, because it's so important that you know every single nickel that's coming in and every single nickel that's going out. And organized accounting is not that complicated. We could do it. You don't even have to add in public. You don't even have to be able to add. It's all about getting just a software and a system in place. And I spent some time training I even asked my accountant, can you show me how to use QuickBooks and everything? And it's not that complicated, and you can do it, or take some training on it, but you need to have one of those set up. The other thing with the numbers is every week you should be looking at your key performance indicators. So your basic numbers. So for your yoga studio, I'm going to pick on you, Sydney. What are the key numbers that you think every week you want to look at the end of the week? Just not finance, but more like metrics.
I would say like how many kids attended the classes, like how many people actually attended. Maybe like new clients, like sales calls I had, or kind of like those discovery calls with the new families.
Yeah.
That's super important.
So you could even do sales calls, like number of sales calls and number of closures. So conversion rates are probably important for you.
Yeah. And then one more, I don't know. I mean, again, like I want to build a website with a bunch of content. So maybe something around that, like maybe there's some KPI around like how much content I'm putting out, or like how many videos I've created.
Well, especially
that makes sense.
When you're starting, you should, depending on what platform you're using, what social media platform.
Right.
You want to check every week that it's actually performing, how many.
Those metrics, yeah.
How many, and you don't need to do all of them. Like, yes, I have Twitter and YouTube and all those, but what are your key ones, right? Mine are key Instagram and Facebook, or Instagram and YouTube. And every week I look at the metrics on that. I have a spreadsheet where I track my YouTube metrics, how many views, where they dropped off, all of those. So key things for your business you need to look at. For Elizabeth, for the event planning business, you're probably looking at ticket sales. You're looking at how many people are viewing your ads, those kind of things, right? So all of those, what are your key numbers that you should be looking at once a week? And not 50 of them. I say like 5 or 6 really, really important ones. I don't know, for City Moguls, you're probably really looking at how many members are converting, how many,
Yeah, I mean, I do all the marketing KPIs, so a lot of like what you guys were talking about. So for us, I mean, our mailing list is a big one. So I'm obsessed with the open rate and the click-through rate, because that shows that people are excited and interested. Yeah. And then on Instagram, it's that engagement piece. I mean, likes and followers are great, but it really is if people are excited and engaged with the content.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you can even break it down to, let's say on Instagram, it's important that your posts are shared or like saved. Those might be more important than followers, right? So things like that are depending on your business. And the email lists are your gold anyways. So I find that starting a business like the yoga studio, events, I know what other businesses do we have here? What other businesses, anybody else want to share?
Mine is a women's speaker series online.
Okay. Love that. So you're really, but is the event going to be online in November?
Yeah. So we have monthly events, but last year I started with the Silver Linings Gala, and it was beautiful, but I can't do a huge event. So I'm aiming for 200 people online.
Amazing. So so again, you're gonna have those key numbers for that business. You probably have to hit 50 people before one person signs up, or whatever it may be. They usually say 30 people or someone needs to see something 30 times before they sign up. Yeah, I know it's frustrating, but think of those metrics when you're looking at your key numbers, right? And what other businesses you may have, think about those key important numbers that you need to check on a weekly basis. That's where I talk about the numbers, making it organized and less complicated. The 4th week is all about staff. If you have none, it's fine, because you will eventually. And my course is for businesses that have been established. You have a product or service that is validated and you're making money in it. So, because when you're just starting out your business, you're really focused just on getting the validation from your customer and making money, right? I want to work with you when you're ready to get organized a bit, and you have that product or service, because I'm not an expert at making products or validating them. So the staffing piece is really important, because even if you're your own staff, what are you doing on a daily basis? Do you have them organized, checklists for each job description? And we talk a lot about outsourcing, automating, and eliminating. So a lot of things in my previous courses, one lady just eliminated a complete kind of process she had because it was a double entry system. So that's an elimination part. Then she was able to hire for, you know, for her, one of them was hiring or delegated to a distribution company for shipping products, right? So things like this are getting you a bit more streamlined, and you are having staff, even if they're contractors or virtual. So I say staff, HR, outsourcing, and automating all go together. The fourth week is, or the fifth week is all about marketing. So it's, I'm not a marketing genius. I have the basics, you know, from lead magnets to sales funnels, but what's right for your business? Everybody needs to have some kind of content creation plan. I don't care what kind of business you are. We're all creating content. So I give the content planner in my course, which is the Canadian who developed that, the content planner guide, to show you how to plan your content and the steps to start, all relating back to your profitable offer, what you should be talking about on a daily basis, relating back to those 4 priorities. And then if anybody needs specific marketing help, I usually do the basics in terms of, you know, lead magnets are key for your email list and things like that, and your basic sales funnels, just to get that a bit more automated, because we don't need to be sending emails ourselves anymore. There's automated tools. And then the last week together, we actually streamline everything together. We go back to your task audit, and I help you physically go into your process, the one that is causing you the most pain, and we go in and we really organize that one the best we can. So that's the 6-week in a nutshell of my 6-week accelerator course. And then I also do a lot of one-on-one coaching, but this is really my one offer that helps the most people, and I see the most benefit to entrepreneurs for. And I think if you're just starting your business, think about this because each bucket is super important. And it doesn't have to be complicated. You can organize the back end just like this.
Well, thanks, Jane. This was so helpful. If anyone has any other final thoughts or comments for Jane, this is the time. I know a couple of people have to jump off, but thank you all so much for being here. We hope this was helpful. If you want to learn anything more about Jane, I think she shared her LinkedIn at the very top of this chat.
Yes.
There you are. Yeah. And do you want to also share your website, Jane, just in the chat?
Yeah, I'll share my website and mostly Instagram, Organized Jane, and YouTube. They're my biggest platforms that I'm always engaging on. And let me see the chat.
And we'll work offline, Jane, to get all of those amazing resources to everyone who attended the webinar and all of our members. So thank you so much for everything. This has been amazing.
Oh, and I love HubDoc, and the apps are program suggested for receipts. I'll also send the 3 that I recommend in that resources too.
Great, perfect. If anybody wants access to anything from here and you are City Mogul's new member, you'll have access to this online through your portal. If you'd like to become a member, it's super easy. We have a few spots left for our founding members rate. And yeah, thank you guys so much. We have a couple other powerhouse webinars coming up, one next week with Stacey and Monica, the founders of Lunata, and 2 weeks later with Joe Mimran, who is a man who needs no introduction. So stay tuned, and you can find everything at citymoguls.com. And thank you so much for being here, everyone. Have a lovely Wednesday afternoon.
Happy organizing.
Thank you so much,
Jane.
Bye.
Thanks, Jane.
Okay, I'm going to send documents.
Perfect. Jane, do you want to just make me the host quickly so I can just stop recording this?
Yes.
Thank you. That was awesome, by the way.
Okay, perfect. I'm glad.
Yeah, we always find there's a few people who just always want the recordings and stuff after, so.
Why can't I make you the host on this one?
So if you click the 3 little dots in the corner of your screen, like where your face is, you can.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah. But it's not getting it's weird. It doesn't say make me not the host.
If you click on mine, it might say make host.
Yeah, there you go.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank
That
you.
was so
And
great.
yes, I'll be sending you the information for my course too. I have so many great women